Welcome, Half-Bloods, to, I was going to say a very special podcast. I don't know if this is actually very special, but we're your hosts,
It's a
Scott and William.
podcast, and we're special.
We're very special. We've only done like 20-some podcasts, so technically, they're all pretty special, There's a finite amount. Very, very few. Very few. But William, I'm going to start this off a little bit differently, and we're going to start off with an ad for the much-needed book-only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. William, I've asked you this question before. This is all just a setup, but still, you need to answer the question, and you need to show off your skills. This is a level 3 question from my game.
Oh, level 3.
Name 6 head boys or head girls at Hogwarts.
Oh, I forgot if we include...
We include anyone who's mentioned, right or wrong.
Lily and James, which is not true. They were never head boy and girl.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. So Lily and James are listed. Then we have Voldemort. And then we have Bill, Percy.
Yep, one more.
And Albus Dumbledore.
And Albus. Pretty impressive company there, It's Voldemort, it's Dumbledore, the true top dogs. And 2 Weasleys, kind of cool. And then James and Lily Evans / Potter. And that is what we're here to talk about. You and I have discussed this already on the pod, that do we really think that? Hagrid just kind of blurts it out when he meets Harry, right? He says, head boy and girl, at Hogwarts. Like, he just kind of blurts it out when he's telling Harry about how wonderful they are. William, I made some jokes about how our audience is expanding. We're an international podcast now. Well, I do have a friend named Ken from Switzerland, and he recently bought a game.
Ken?
Yes, he super kind. I'm always looking for feedback. He sent me a voice mail, basically a voice message. It was like, hey, I have some thoughts, and his thoughts were so insightful. Where he
Das ist gut. Does he have a German accent?
His English was flawless. There is a great accent. It is a great accent. And he said,
Love
yes,
accents.
he's only read the books in German. And in German, Hagrid does not say that they are head boy and girl. He just talks about what wonderful people they are, but they don't say head boy and head girl. And what one thing, I mean,
do they say it in the British version? Maybe listening to these audiobooks, like they change not a ton. They don't change a ton, but there are differences.
Before the next podcast, I will do some research and super validate this. But basically, William, I wanted to challenge you. Do you think that you could learn German and then read all the books and tell me all the differences?
No.
That's unfortunate.
Theoretically,
make it
yes. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I can think of a lot of other things that are going to get in the way of that. But you know what? That's just excuses. And I guess, if I was a real winner, I would do it. But
this is like,
alas, I am not.
This is like studying Greek. So you could read like an original Greek Bible. I just feel like there's a better translations of Harry Potter, and English is not it.
This is kind of like how the German Bible was supposed to be a good translation of the Bible.
Exactly. This is literally exactly where my head went. You need to learn German for the both of us.
I mean, we both learned a language. Don't you think you could learn German too?
If we took a Spanish aptitude test right now, if you got a 95 on it, I bet I would get a 45.
I use it every day. I speak in Spanish a lot, all the time.
I use it 0 times a day. I'm just saying, this was very exciting to me.
That is super exciting. I would love to hear what is the main language? So like a Spanish, German, French. I don't know if there is like a Chinese one. I mean, I'm sure there is, right? But the Portuguese, that's got to be a big one. Portuguese, as far as like people who have read it in the languages. What do you think the most read languages of Harry Potter is? Number 1 is English. Number 2's got to be Spanish or Portuguese, I would think.
Is Harry Potter banned in China? Like, if you just get it to China?
I have no idea. Maybe it just didn't even catch on. I have no idea. Like, I'm sure there's a Chinese translation out there, but I don't, got no clue. I bet it would be, I don't know. Like I said, I bet it would be
Spanish. Yeah.
Spanish, my guess would be Spanish, then Portuguese, then French, because Brazil has a lot of people.
True. True, true, true. Well, mm, that was my intro for the day. I've been holding on to that for a couple weeks. We've had a bunch of guests on, and I didn't want to
Shout
bore
out
them
Ken.
with.
What an awesome guy.
He bought it for him and his brother, and he said they have just loved it. And exciting for me that people are willing to work hard and work with me because it is not easy to ship across borders and get these games, and it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
That's
So
crazy.
exactly. Shout out Ken. That's the main takeaway here. William, we are not here though today to talk about learning German, even though I think that should be a bigger focus. What we're
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
actually Exactly. What we're actually here for is to talk about a wonderful treat that HBO gave us, which is Finding Harry, behind the scenes about our new HBO show. Basically, just a 25-minute little gift to all the fans out there to get us excited about the HBO show. Before we go through our, overall, our many detailed points here, how do you feel about it overall?
I thought it was really cool. It was really random to like get another thing like
Yeah,
really so soon after the trailer, and like such a random thing that like it's early April and we're gonna release a little 25-minute thing about making Harry Potter and finding the cast, some of the cast and
right?
all that stuff. It makes me think that they're gonna randomly keep dropping stuff every couple months
That's
until the show, right? So I was
that's
like,
what I
I
wanted to
hope they
ask.
do, because it's not like they needed to do this. They were just like, "Yeah, let's throw something out there." I was like, "Cool,
I
more
mean, yeah,
stuff,"
this was
And they're very
basically like,
careful. They're showing us stuff. They're not really showing us anything. You know what I mean? There's no as far as like the show goes, like they're not spoiling anything, right?
I agree. I
They're
agree.
not like showing it off like so it'll all be amazing. But yeah, it was just really a happy surprise. Like, I watched it and then my parents came over on Easter on Sunday, and my mom wanted to watch it. We watched it again. Uh, it was super cool.
It was cool. It felt like it was the mid 2000s, and I was like on a Lord of the Rings DVD, and it was just, oh, let's watch this behind the scenes,
Right.
Um, and it was amazing. And I feel like, well, I'll talk about this in a couple points, but like, I feel like they were putting themselves out there a little bit, where they like said many times of just like, real fans are gonna love this. The dedicated the book only fans are gonna love this. I didn't say the word book only, but like I
One
feel like they
one
were
thing,
setting themselves up a little.
they're very careful to never mention the movies ever.
Right.
Like they
Right.
don't use the word movie. They don't say the films. They like refer to it, but like a degree or two away. There's like always a separation in the way they refer to it.
This is true.
Because I don't think they want to like alienate people, being like, "Hey, look, the movies are terrible. This is going to be better." Because if they say that, they're speaking to a large audience of me and you, um, and others too, who probably feel the same way. But like, they don't even like mention or acknowledge. Like they do mention like the guy was like, "I worked on the film" or whatever. Like his dad
Exactly.
worked on the film. But
Which
like
there's a lot of.
the way the actors describe it, the way the people, and I can't wait for them. My next thing is I bet they're going to have like the showrunners talk. We have not heard from the
Yeah.
showrunners at all, Francesca and Mark Mylon, right? Um, so that would be my next guess of what is next.
I agree, because
Showrunners.
they only showed us people. Like every other person they talked to was just like, here's my journey with Harry Potter. And it all began with, I read the books when I was a kid. I read the books to my kid. It just tried to show like how pure these people are, how much they care. I don't know. The overall was just, we really care about this and believe us. And I don't know. It was made for me. I feel
Yeah.
like, of just, these people care, and that's all I really want.
Yeah. And I mean, if we move on to we can just keep moving, I get, but like your quote that you quoted, and I was going to talk about this too, was the thing above all that made me stop and think was John Lithgow saying, um, things that are happening in the wings, but you don't see them.
Yes, John
take.
Lithgow's interview could have been the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
his interview was the peak for me. He
Yeah.
said many things. I just wrote down all of his quotes. He
Yeah.
wrote,
But like, we'll
"We're
start
here."
with that. Like this is because this is what your big thing is like, and I'll credit you
Yes.
for this. This is your like thing about it. So go ahead.
Yes, but he said it word for words, right? We've talked
Yeah.
about like this.
He put it a lot better eloquently
Yes,
said than either of us have.
exactly. But it's like the first it's like sneak that we got. Like we initially got like pictures of Harry and Hagrid together, and they weren't very exciting. We're like, well, it's Harry and it's Hagrid. Great. We've seen this 10,000 times. But then the next thing we got was Albus Dumbledore walking on the beach with Nicholas Flamel, which just took us to a whole new world of they're really going to do it. They're going to show us things that we know happened, but we've never even really contemplated. I never actually thought about like Dumbledore and Flamel like talking to each other at any point in the first book. But
Right.
obviously that's
Because
happening.
they did, but like, what I'm imagining is my guess of what that scene is going to be is that it's going to be them talking about like, hey, you're going to die, and Flamel like being at peace with
Yeah.
it, because that's
Yeah.
the most descriptive thing we have in the book.
True.
Like it could be them like planning out how to hide the stone together. That'd be great too. I mean, all the better, right?
True.
But like, my guess is it's like them having a heart to heart of like, yeah, like I'm glad to move on and die.
Exactly.
Like something like that. But yeah. But all these things waiting and happening in the wings, but you don't see them. And now we can see them.
They're going to give us Hermione getting her letter. They're going to show us Malfoy at home. Like they're going to show our characters. The Harry Potter books are incredible. There are only, I could pull it out, what are the 5 chapters that aren't from Harry's point of view? We see the wizarding world from Harry Potter's point of view and nobody else's for 99.5% of the book. That's not what this will be. And going back to our very first episode, like what I want out of the HBO show and things I hate about the movie is that it's so Harry centric, and that's what the book is. So of course that's what the movie is.
Right.
But we're not going to hit my threshold where I was like, I want Harry to be 12% on the screen.
Yeah, whatever you were, that was insane. But
we're not going to hit
you
that.
are insane. So yeah.
But it's going to be way different. It's going to be incredible. We're going to see things we haven't even thought of.
Yeah. And his interview was the best part, and because at the end when he brings it home and talking about like he's going basically like these kids are gonna grow up. They're entering their lives. I'm exiting my life, basically. Like I told this to my sister like when they announced him. I was like, I think he sounds great. I was like, I looked up his age. I was like, he's probably not. He's gonna die before the show is over. Is my guess, or he'll be old enough to where he like literally can't act anymore. Because like right now he's 80 years old and he's obviously coherent and great and everything. I was like, but if he's 85 and all of a sudden he can't really act anymore, is that like a surprise? No, not really. He's
Right.
going to be 85. So like, I don't know. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays healthy and well. But my guess is eventually he'll be recast, which is depressing to think because he sounded very eloquent about what he was talking about and how much the show, the books and stuff mean to people. I was listening to a podcast that was not about like this. They just mentioned the Harry Potter thing at the end of a podcast, and it was just about broader like entertainment industry, and they were like, why is anyone doing this? Does anyone really care? Like, and I was like, and they're like, they're just retreading. The movies are really faithful, and they're just retreading. And I was like, I was like reaching through my podcast, listening. I was like, this is why you are unqualified to speak on this. They're just talking about how it's like it's creatively bankrupt, and I was like, seriously, creatively bankrupt? I was like, they're like, what's worthwhile telling this story? I was like, get out of your own butt. I was like, there's millions of people who care about this story and would love to see it told in a new perspective. Like, yeah, the movies held up. Like, okay, just because they don't look terrible, like, first of all, I think they do look terrible, but like, just because they're not like from the 50s, right? They're from the 2000s, doesn't mean that you can't redo it and get stuff out of it, right? Like
Yes.
remakes and rehashes. I think Disney makes some really creatively bankrupt, awful remakes that serve no purpose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like one coming out this year.
Yeah, like Moana. It's complete trash. Why'd that exist? I have no idea. It's garbage, right? The animated movie was perfect. Why are you making a live action one? But I don't know how the most cynical person could see this as like a pure like cash grab or something, like, yeah, no, duh, it's entertainment. Everything is made for money.
Right.
That's literally everything. You do it because they're gonna make money on it. But like, I don't know, just
I mean,
unqualified people who think that are idiots.
back to John Lithgow. Well, not back to. It's all
Yes, yeah,
around his quotes. It's all around his quotes. No, like because like the refutal of everything that they said on said podcast is it's like John Lithgow, who's been acting for forever, has had some incredible roles, is saying about this. Like you wait forever to
yeah,
do
he's
something that
Lord
means
Farquaad.
this much. You wait forever to do something that means this much to that many people. And I don't know, he could just be saying it and like they gave him a line, but I believed it when he said it. And
Yeah,
it all
I
felt
think
real
it's
to me.
super. I think it sounds super cool too because like I understand that like the Harry Potter show is not like broad entertainment, whether it's Captain America or Iron Man or Harry Potter show or Star Wars or whatever. But like those shows aren't going to win an Academy Award or whatever or movies, but like they are important and people care about them, and that's really cool, right? Like you may not think very
Yes.
highly of like Marvel movies and stuff, but guess what? The fact that Chris Evans can say he was Captain America, that's pretty freaking cool, right? Like whatever you think of him as an actor or like whatever else, like that's awesome. He was a part of something that, like, a lot of people cared about and really enjoyed. Like, what else could you want? Like, that's awesome. Like, same thing with any of them. All the people in the like, that's super cool. You're like, "Yeah, I was an Avenger." Like, that's sick.
It's true.
He's like,
And
"I'm Dumbledore." That's great. That's an incredible thing to say. Like, people care.
people do care. I want to go on record to say that he is going to be healthy and well through all the filming and will never be
I hope
recast.
so.
And you may be sad saying that, but that was my question. Are you worried? And you answered it. So,
I'll tell you what, though,
uh,
I'm not, like, worried about it because, like I said this all the
when you're
time,
not
like, I
worried.
don't
Yeah.
well, 1, I hope the guy is well, but, like, I I don't even think, like I think like the actors they played in the movie, the first Dumbledore, Richard Attenborough, whatever, or David Attenborough, whatever. No, David Attenborough's the in nature guy. Richard Attenborough, I think, was the Dumbledore guy. He was great. The next guy was fine too, except the direction they gave him was terrible. So I'm sure there's actors who are qualified to play him. It's just,
I I can't have a
you know,
recast, William. I agree that they're both fine actors in the movies, but the recast, they just changed everything about him, and I have to put some blame on the actor, even though it is the direction, and so I can't have a
right.
recast. I
Yeah.
can't have it.
Yeah, fair enough. Hope for the best. Hope for the best. Let's talk about them just like other random stuff that you kind of wrote down here too. And then uh casting. I'm gonna call BS. I don't think they looked at 40,000. Like I don't think they watched like 40,000 videos of
They said
stuff.
they stopped counting at
They
40,000. They didn't
stopped
say
counting
they
at 40,000. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Everyone's name is in a spreadsheet somewhere. You can count them. Like, get out of here. I'm sure they looked at a lot, or not them personally, but other people did. Whatever like filters they did for it. Um, I wanted to say one thing. The thing that shook me the most, it's not even in a bad way, but like when they showed the kids, all 3 of them, I think they did really good. I think those kids were really cool. They got them from 3 different places, right?
Yep.
Like the girls from London, uh, Ron was from Manchester, or at least that's where he auditioned, right? And then Dominic, when he goes in, he's got a thick Scottish accent. Blew my mind. I was like, "What? What?"
Um,
Uh,
yes.
yeah,
My my biggest takeaway from the casting was that Dominic, like
looked way
the first time I
cooler.
saw yes, the first time we see him is like
Than
Harry
with his
Potter, and I was
mustache
like,
hair.
this kid is a loser, and like I hope he can grow into something that will make me believe he's facing the Dark Lord. And but they made him look like a loser, and you can see in the first trailer, like it was all emotion, it
Yeah,
was all like this pathetic child, like it was all intentional. In his casting, he looks just like he's like a good looking kid who looks like he's gonna grow into a good looking man. Like it's not what he
yeah,
looks like as Harry Potter.
right. Which I think is good because like it makes
It's
sense that
very good.
like when you're an 11-year-old, like you're gonna be more disheveled and stuff, and then when you grow as a teenager and you're older, like you're gonna look different. Your hair's gonna be
Yes.
better. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
all that stuff. So like he was. I was just shocked by his accent that he's got a Scottish accent. And the fact that he's got to do a normal English accent for this whole film. He must be a talented actor. Um,
Which is
uh,
key because that's I don't care about like I didn't think anything else was really noteworthy in there, but I just
yeah.
like the success of this show, I feel like hinges on the 3 of them. I don't know,
Oh,
like
for
Snape could
sure.
be
It
amazing,
it
Dumbledore could
is.
be amazing. It doesn't matter. If the kids aren't good, then we'll just be watching kids who can't act, and that will be sad. And I don't
Yeah.
think that's the
And
case,
that's
but
yeah, and that's so tough. Like we said, like, something like Stranger Things would be absolute garbage if they didn't find kids that had good chemistry and acted well together, right?
exactly,
Um, so,
exactly.
and they did it. They found a kid, multiple kids who were great. So,
And they've got John
everything hinges
Lithgow.
on them.
Yeah, they've got John Lithgow to be their granddad, and hopefully they don't have to bury him. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually it could be something really good to call on. Like Dumbledore's actual death is John Lithgow's death, and I don't know. I feel like Harry will just let it go, or Dominic, So it could actually be good. They need to
Yeah.
film King's Cross early, Let's get well, you can't really film it early, but I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Um,
You could film his parts
uh,
early,
if
Dominic
they
and
can bring back, um, Grand Moff Tarkin, in Rogue One, they can bring back Dumbledore in King's
That's a good point.
Cross with CGI.
Film it now. That's what I'm saying.
And that
Get
was
the line.
and Grand Moff Tarkin, Rogue One was 10 years ago, so, um,
True.
technology's even better now.
True.
You wanna move on? Just like what did you think of, like, the sets they showed us? Like, the bits of it? I
Right.
thought, like, Diagon Alley and some of the stuff around Hogwarts and stuff, I think they did a good job of, like, they put in a lot of detail into everything, and I think it looks similar enough to what was already done, like, from the
Right.
movies, like, at a glance,
Right.
because, like, it's the same source material, right? Like, even the movies, like, we have a lot to quibble with, but, like, the biggest thing I liked is that Gringotts looks like a normal building instead of a crooked, like
Yes. Looks like bad
like,
CGI.
yeah, instead of a dilapidated bank, like, Gringotts is supposed to be, like, the nicest building in the wizard world, basically. Why would it be a crooked, weird-looking thing? Um,
I thought that was
and
an
it's not
accident. I
now.
actually thought it was bad CGI, so I don't know. But I don't know. I agree. It all looked beautiful. Again, I feel like I get more like Hogwarts Legacy vibes than I do Harry Potter movie vibes. I
Yeah.
love how like candle heavy it is. It feels like everything is truly being lit by candles, very dark. I thought the dungeon looked amazing. The Great Hall looked amazing. Herbology lab, the opposite, no candles, so full of light, which is such a big contrast because the castle's so dark and candle lit. Um, and the herbology room totally different. I mean, I thought it all looked beautiful.
Yeah, it did.
Beautiful.
I mean, there's so many little details that you can, like, stop and look at, like the the quality Quidditch supplies script and, like, just all
Yes.
these tiny little things. They did a heck of a job, I think, uh, making
I
everything
was
look
I was gonna quiz you on the Diagon
legit.
Alley, where like which ones are in the books and which ones aren't. I could barely read this one. Like Morgelane's Biscuiteers and Confections, definitely not in the book, right?
No, no, that's not. But again, like,
Uh,
I don't think that's bad to, like, make up a new
I'm
place.
I'm not I'm
Like,
not saying it's
even
bad. I just wanted to do a quiz.
no.
I just wanted to give
Oh,
people
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah. Well, I know you're not I know
listen.
you don't think that either, but I just want people, the 12 listeners we do have, to know that, like, I don't think it's
That's right.
bad that, like, something isn't, because, like, if you
No,
include a store that's not included in the book, that's not what I mean by, like, fidelity to the book, you know?
I think it's more. Well,
Obviously, there would be more stores than just what they mention in the book. It would be
exactly,
weird if there wasn't, right?
exactly, exactly.
And, like, there's a brand on butterbeer. Like, yeah, why wouldn't butterbeer have a brand? Why would it just say butterbeer? Why wouldn't it say who makes it? Right? Like,
Coca Cola.
you know, like, do people buy beer that just says beer and it doesn't have a brand on it? Right. Um,
Maybe they
Coca-Cola.
should.
Coca-Cola is the brand, so, there you go. Um,
Exactly,
um,
exactly. I thought it all looked amazing. Um, I did want to call out Privet Drive. I thought the I paused it for like way too long inside the cupboard, so they show us Harry's cupboard,
mm,
and he's got his hanger, which we can assume is Vernon's present that he gave him the year before for his 10th birthday. Very nice.
yeah.
So Harry has his one birthday present there. I looked at all the drawings. He's got several skateboard and biking things on there. He's got lots of animal pictures, lots of landscapes, and several
Was
soccer
there one that looked
players.
like a floodplain? Did you see the picture that
Yes,
looked like a
definitely.
it looked like a delta, like, it looked like where I used to go fishing in Louisiana is what it
Yeah.
looked like to me. I was like, I used to go down the Mr. Go and go fishing with George. Um, and I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Why does it looks like a marsh where I used to go fish." I was thought it was weird.
I guess the skateboarding is like his precursor to flying on a broom. Soccer is obviously the closest thing we have
Right.
to Quidditch. I kinda liked it.
I
Animals,
always imagine, like, Harry would be like, he would like
a normal
soccer.
muggle boy.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he'd be into soccer. He and Dean could have, like, bonded over that. Be like, "Yeah, football is cool, dude. Yeah. These wizards don't know anything."
Um, he has a lot of animal pictures. I feel like he kind of likes animals, but really he's like one of the worst pet owners ever, so I don't know how I feel about all the animal pictures, you know?
What did
Mistreats
you
head.
think
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, this is the animal stuff, it made me think of this, but what did you think of them talking so deeply about, like, magic being based in the natural world, like, in nature, in, like, the natural world? Like, they're saying, like, how magic it was kinda, like sounded like a lot of fluff to me, but, like, you know what I mean? But, like, I guess it's true. Like,
I mean
I don't really know how to, like, internalize or interpret that too much. I was like,
I mean, if you have like the artificial world or like the worlds that muggles have created where we rely on technology versus wizards who rely on but the thing is magic isn't natural, but it's more nature based, I guess, you know, electronics don't work at Hogwarts, only organic slash
I guess,
magic
like, it's
things.
natural in that, like, the magic is a natural ability. You have it or you don't. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a it is a obviously, you learn and grow, but, like, your ability is just, like, some people have this and some people don't, and it's, like, a natural born thing, whether you're a, wizard or a witch or whatever.
right.
I think just
Uh,
witchcraft in general, like, obviously has, like, a very, like, earthy, like, nature naturalistic undertone, I guess, to it. It's, like, just in history. It's like, so
Agreed. Especially if you're a Hufflepuff. Get into that Hufflepuff common
but,
room.
like, maybe that's why animals are such a big part of, like, Harry, you mentioned animals, and so, animals are a
True.
big deal. He's a bad pet owner.
He is a bad pet owner. He mistreats Hedwig multiple times. We'll talk about that in the next podcast as we review the Goblet of Fire full cast edition. So look forward to that. Uh, from there, it goes to like the McGonagall interview. I didn't really have any call outs there. She was like by far the least interesting.
Yeah, her interview wasn't that interesting, but I will say I think she looks amazing. I think she looks like tall and powerful and, like, striking, and I think she looks like a really good McGonagall. I wish we could hear her in her accent, her voice. I'm sure she's gonna do a Scottish accent. Um, so, like, her voice that she
True.
interviews in is not the voice that she's gonna use as McGonagall, you would
Fair.
think. So I wish
No.
but that's the other thing, this didn't really give anything away. Like, they didn't give you
No.
anything. They didn't let us hear Dumbledore talk. They didn't let us on any of that stuff, like, they didn't give anything away. I just think, like, she visually looks, like, impressive. Like, she looks tall and, like, regal and, like, she would be a scary teacher in, like, the respect way. Like, you'd be like, "Yeah, I would never mess with her."
She can
Like,
command a classroom without
she
speaking.
would yeah, she would kids would be like, "Yes, ma'am," you know?
To to your point on like nature, magic is nature based. I haven't thought about like the responsibility or again, they've got to show kids in class like all the time and they're kind of, you know, making stuff up. And they had some quotes on a chalkboard about transfiguration, where it said categories of transfiguration, which is never actually listed out in the book, but it does, I think, do pretty well of like summarizing what we learned from transfiguration by watching Harry. And the categories are 1, transformation, 2, switching, 3, vanishment, 4, conjuration, 5, untransfiguration, and then I think the 6th one was gonna say animagus. It kinda gets cut off. Um, are we missing any categories of transfiguration? I feel like they actually did a pretty good job there.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. Like, and this is another cool thing,
Yes.
like, they just get to make stuff up. Like, they get to
Yes.
take the context that we have and make something up that sounds cool, right? And put it on there. So,
I mean,
and then
the fact that somebody is able to write that, you know, is it's what we are joking about before, like, why aren't we hired to, you know, be a part of this HBO show? They have people who know what they're doing, you know? That's all this showed me. 24 minutes of, "I love Harry Potter, and I'm gonna get this right because I care," was my basic takeaway from this, and I feel like, listing those 6 things on a chalkboard shows that to me.
Mhm. For sure.
Hmm.
Uh, I thought the coolest part by far of this entire thing was the animal stuff.
Which is what we're on
By
now,
far.
yes. Yes.
The, like and this is all, like, not magic related at all, but, like, the animatronics blew my mind. Like, Scabbers, like, blew my
Can you
mind.
3D print that? Can you 3D print that?
All the pieces they used underneath, I could tell were 3D a lot of them were 3D printed, like,
I'm sure
underneath
they
the
are.
like, the animatronic stuff. Um, shout out all of my filament. Um,
I mean, that
but
you s go, you
no,
go.
go ahead. No, go, go.
So you said they didn't give us any spoilers, but we can be very confident that Scabbers is going to bite Goyle.
Oh, that
So
was the coolest thing, wasn't it? And it was so cool when they put Scabbers, like, on that thing, I was like, "That looks like a real rat." And it was interesting
yes.
to say, like, it helps the kids act because, like, when you were holding
Yeah.
that thing, I never acted in my life, but I imagine, like, if you handed him, like, literally just like a toy, or you handed him that, like, it's I guess it's easier to act to a, like, thing that looks like a real rat, right? And it moves like a
Right.
rat. Um,
It's freaky.
uh, it
And this was,
the
like, with no effects. This is with no effects on it. It
yeah,
looks real just on this documentary version. Like, I can't imagine what it'll look like when they're actually
I
trying
know.
to make it look real.
And they'll let you talk about the math and the owls, but, like, they were showing the owls, and the owls look incredible, right? They got to show off
Yes.
the rat a bit more, but the owls look incredible, and my kids were like, "Why didn't they just get real owls?" And I was like "Well, I don't know for sure," but I was like, "I'm pretty sure if you need, like, a few dozen owls, like, owls are not, like, dogs."
Buddy, buddy. Yeah.
You know? Like, I was like, "They're not, getting a real I'm sure they can get, like, one," but I was like, "It probably would be easier to make, if you need to have a scene
Yeah.
with dozens of owls looking down at you, it's probably easier to have some robots."
You can avoid poop. You can avoid, I don't know, like, owls attacking each other. They're, like,
Yeah,
pretty
I don't know what
solitary creatures.
yeah, they're not, like, super domesticated as far as I know. They're not even like, like eagles or like hawks that people use to hunt stuff. Um, so and then of
They
course you did the math on the feathers. This is another one.
so
I'm gonna call BS. I don't know
I
if
was
I
about to
believe.
say,
I don't.
you don't
Just like the more than 40,000 kids. Like I don't know about this.
so if you don't believe they did 40,000 kids, what the designer said, who didn't look very happy when she was talking about it, which made me think it was
She
real,
was
was she was
German.
like,
She didn't. She was German. She's like, "That's 36,000 owls. Yeah, yeah, yes.
they have
We
10
use
owls.
36,000
She said that
feathers.
they're hand placing 36,000 feathers on 10 owls, which for those of you who can't do math, that's 360,000 feathers that
Fetus.
a very small team put onto these owls. William doesn't believe it.
I just think they should have like sent that to Vietnam and had some kids do it.
All right. Well,
Don't pretend like that's not how your Nikes are made. Like, I don't know, make some owls.
are my Air Jordans made that way too, or are they made in a more special place?
I don't know. I bet the World Cup
They're made
balls
in the
and
same
like
place.
I was like FIFA probably makes them sweatshops in Pakistan, or something like that.
Uh,
Anyway, but yeah,
okay.
it was the animals look incredible. We got to see a Doug Bog, like something that is in the video game. It looks different in this than it does in the video game.
Agreed.
Um, it looked cool, magical, and weird.
Very
I
weird
guess
in a good way.
going back to yeah, in a good way. I think going back to what you said about naturalistic, I think those animals do look very like natural looking. Like obviously they are unnatural. They are made up animals that are not real, but they don't look like they stepped out of a like, they don't look like they're stepped out of, like, an alien world, like a Star Wars universe
Right.
or something, like, they look, I guess, somewhat grounded in, like, reality of our
Right.
reality,
Right.
of our Earth and our what we know, which
I
is why the
agree.
fire crab is like a bejeweled turtle that shoots fire out of its butt, you know?
Awesome. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
They got some nasty flobber worms, which I guess the kids like won't even know that they're slimy and gross when they pick them up, and we'll get to see
Yeah,
a
what did
real
you think about
reaction.
flobberworms being massive? Like, I never
Yeah.
imagined them that big. I don't know
No.
why.
I imagine them
I
much
imagined them
smaller.
as worms.
Yeah. I guess I need
like
to
bigger
reread
than
the
a worm. They had a
context.
mouth. They had a mouth and all that. But I thought it was really cool though. Again, that's not a detail I care about. Like they look like giant maggots. They look like giant grubs that Hagrid
Yes.
feeds to Aragog. But they're
True.
slimy and like they're talking about like they could surprise the kids when the kids pick them up and you're
Exactly.
like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Exactly. When I asked you if I should watch this documentary with my kids, you said that the clothing section bored the pants off them, and I feel somewhat similarly. I don't have much to say on the clothing. What do you got?
Uh, I just was impressed with how much they care about it. I don't
Exactly.
like
They care. That's all I
I
got.
like the see, yeah, and that other podcast I listened to, they were talking about they briefly talked about like they're like, oh, they're going in for the nostalgia because they made everything look like the 90s because it was allegedly set in the 90s. I was like, that's like such a catch 22. Like, what do you mean? Like, because they're trying to make it look like it similar to that. They're just playing on people's nostalgia in the moment for the 90s right now. Like, so
That's
because right now people care about the 90s because our generation is like of a certain age. Like, shut up. Who cares? They made it look like 90s. And the only thing that stood out to me of that is like I guess Dumbledore's flamboyant outfits were cool. All the
yeah.
leaves and
Yes, they were.
stuff. Like,
It
you
was
know.
all cool. It was all cool. Also, like the Muggles, like the '90s feel is going to be a very small part of it. And then once they get to Hogwarts, like I don't think we're going to have a huge '90s feel anymore. So
Yeah, they're not
a weak
and
take.
I mean, we'll know if they're really trying to play on the 90s, then eventually they're gonna mention Michael Jordan and you and I, our heads will explode. They're
This
gonna
is so
mention
true.
the dream team in like the second movie. And Dean and Harry would be like, "Yeah, dude, did you hear about Barcelona? Like, gee, that was sick.
That will
Just came
be
there and smashed everyone." Um,
incredible. Yes, you are right. It will. I don't know what I'll do. I need to make a declaration now. If they mention Michael Jordan in the Harry Potter series, I will blank. I guess 13 fans fill in the blank. Tell me what I have to do if they mention Michael Jordan. So that would be amazing. Uh, and then we finish with Snape. What's his real name? Help me.
Papa Esiadu?
I really enjoyed him. He's basically us. He was born
Yeah,
at the
he's like
same
our
time.
age,
Yeah, it was
mid-30s.
just like Harry Potter was life as a kid, and you'd fight somebody if they spoiled it for you. And I just made me really excited that he's us, and he gets to be
Also,
one of our
age
favorite
appropriate for
characters.
Snape. Age appropriate for
Yes,
Snape.
true,
Not a
true.
50-year-old man. Um, so
Again, overall, all they got me to do was say they just showed me 50 people who are like, I care about Harry Potter, and I'm going to try my best. And I don't know, like I feel like even if like the HBO show isn't perfect and like if I was 11 years old and back in 2001 and I was watching it and had the same skeptic mind that I had then, I don't think I'm going to land this point, but basically they've convinced me that they're trying, and even if I think it falls short in a couple ways, I'm going to care less, and this documentary did I think exactly what they wanted it to do. At least it worked on me where
yeah,
it's just like I'm going to be
worked on
nicer to
me.
them because I can see that they're trying and I want this to succeed.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone, I I think like up at the top of your sheet, the first thing says, "Why does this story live with us? Why is it so universal and beloved?" Basically, everyone in that show, working on the show, has a story of why Harry Potter means something, or they're aware of
Exactly.
it, or something like that. And like, not literally, you forget. Like, I mean, Harry Potter is massive, right? Star Wars is massive. Marvel movies are massive. There's still tons of people who don't give a flying poop about any of it, right? But a lot of people do, and a lot of those people are working on the show, and like they care, and they have a story to tell, and I think it's fantastic. And I got me more
Fantastic.
excited. I in some ways, I wish they had shown us more about what's to come, like more trailer type thing. But like they were smart. They didn't. They left it hanging. There's still so much that you know, maybe around like in the fall we'll probably get another trailer, So, you know.
True. I'm hoping for 3. I mean, that's like a big movie formula is you get 3 trailers. I'm hoping this can get 3, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and maybe a mini documentary after every single one. Is that too much to hope for? 3 trailers, 3 behind the scenes? I mean, that's probably too much to hope for, but I will hope
Probably
for it.
so.
I will
Promise.
hope for it. I
Can't
will hope
wait.
for it. Overall, we
Loved
loved
it.
it. And we're starting to pretend like we're actually a podcast that covers this HBO show. So that's exciting for us. And we're cutting it at 41 minutes. You're welcome to everyone who has been complaining that these podcasts are too long. And if you think that this is really sad for you and you wish that we were rambling on for another hour, just send me that message and I can show it to the haters who are like, your podcast is too long. So appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, William?
Yep. I got nothing. Peace.
Deuces, half bloods.